Columbus's voyages were influenced by the external transmission of the Chinese compass, the advancement of European shipbuilding, and the development of navigation techniques, all of which provided the necessary conditions for oceanic voyages and the opening of new maritime routes. The Portuguese were the first to make significant progress, sailing eastward, followed by the Spanish, who sought an alternative route by sailing westward. In 1486, the navigator Christopher Columbus presented a bold proposal to the King of Spain, arguing that according to the theory of a spherical Earth, sailing westward across the Atlantic would lead to China and India, a route shorter than the traditional Eastern Passage. In April 1492, Queen Isabella and her husband, King Ferdinand, accepted his proposal, commissioning him to seek a new route to the east in the name of the royal court. They granted him the title of Admiral of the Ocean Sea, and preemptively appointed him as the governor of newly discovered lands. At dawn on August 3, Columbus set sail from the port of Palos with 3 ships and 87 sailors. After 69 days, they reached the Bahamas, which he named San Salvador, meaning Holy Savior. Believing he had reached India, he referred to the indigenous people as Indians. The fleet continued southward, reaching Cuba and Hispaniola. However, instead of finding gold and spices, Columbus encountered only what he considered primitive and backward natives and dense jungles. On March 15, 1493, Columbus left the West Indies to return to Spain. In the years that followed, he embarked on 3 more voyages to the Americas, discovering Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic, as well as reaching parts of Central America, including Honduras and Panama. His expeditions laid the foundation for Spanish colonization. Yet, until his death, Columbus remained convinced that he had reached the outskirts of Asia, never realizing that he had, in fact, discovered a new world. Christopher Columbus, 1451 to 1506, was an Italian explorer and navigator best known for his voyages across the Atlantic, which led to the European discovery of the Americas. His expeditions, sponsored by Spain, played a crucial role in the Age of Exploration and paved the way for European colonization of the New World. Columbus was born in Genoa, Italy, in 1451. As a young man, he worked as a sailor and later became an experienced navigator. He was deeply influenced by the idea that the Earth was round and believed that by sailing west across the Atlantic, he could reach Asia faster than traveling eastward around Africa. After failing to gain support from Portugal, he turned to Spain, where Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand agreed to finance his journey. On August 3, 1492, Columbus set sail with 3 ships, the Niña, Pinta, and Santa Maria, from the port of Palos, Spain. After 69 days at sea, he landed in the Bahamas on October 12, mistakenly believing he had reached Asia. He called the indigenous people Indians, thinking he was in the Indies. Over the course of 4 voyages, 1492 to 1504, Columbus explored various parts of the Caribbean, including Cuba, Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico. He also reached the coasts of Central and South America. Despite his discoveries, Columbus faced controversy. He failed to find the riches he had promised, and his harsh treatment of the indigenous people led to criticism. Eventually, he was arrested and brought back to Spain in disgrace, though he was later pardoned. Columbus died on May 20, 1506, still believing he had reached Asia. Although he never realized he had discovered a new continent, his voyages changed the course of world history, leading to the widespread exploration and colonization of the Americas by European powers. Christopher Columbus's voyages had a lasting impact on world history, leading to European exploration, colonization, and the global exchange of goods, people, and ideas. His discovery of the Americas in 1492 opened the way for Spain and other European nations to expand overseas, establishing colonies and transforming global trade. The Columbian Exchange introduced new crops, animals, and technologies between the Old and New Worlds, but it also brought devastating diseases that wiped out large portions of indigenous populations. Spain gained immense wealth from American resources, fueling economic growth and the rise of transatlantic trade. However, colonization led to the forced labor and suffering of native peoples, marking the beginning of European dominance in the New World. Columbus's discoveries reshaped global geography and inspired further exploration, leaving a complex legacy, celebrated for opening new frontiers but criticized for its tragic consequences on indigenous civilizations.